Coach TC Taylor and the Jackson State football staff, they're building a fence. They're building a man, this looks terrible. They're building a fence around the state of Mississippi, a very, very talented football rich state. And I'm going to talk to you about how that will be super beneficial both for this upcoming season and for the long run after the bumper. Stay tuned. This is huge. This is a good thing by the coaching staff. Let's talk about it. What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? My name is JeffLightsyJr. This is the Victory Formation Sports Show right here on JeffLightsJr. YouTube, Facebook, and wherever you get your content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, and subscribe, and the notification bell because we upload all the time. Now, after I brought to you guys the commitment, some of the latest commitments, Jackson State's getting so many commitments these days. Sometimes I forget when and what happens. We had 2 defensive lineman commitments over the last couple of days. Tyus Martin, the return of Big Junior Coinus Miller coming back. And then after the Tyus Martin, the same day, you had 2 high school local commits from the state of Mississippi that came to Jackson State. Let's go ahead and show you their commitment post because these are big time guys and why it is important. It's more so important for a couple of reasons. So you had Antonio Ross Jr. He committed first, offensive lineman, 6'5", 330 pounds, just big kid. It's going to get some time to develop. Won't start right away, or he could come in and take someone's spot. I don't know, but he is coming to JSU out of Hartfield Academy in Mississippi. This is a good local talent, great prospect, local talent, 6'5", 335. You can mold. Had some other offers, and this is huge. And this continues what I've talked about in the past that we see from Coach TC Taylor and his staff there at JSU that wasn't taking place previously, and that is building a fence around the state of Mississippi, a very, very talent-rich state. Like, just look at all the players in the NFL. Talent-rich state. You continue to develop those relationships with the high school coaches, with the local players, and yeah, this might not be the highest ranked player. Some of these guys might not be the highest ranked players in the history of the state of Mississippi, which got some very, very talented players. But with those relationships, that's all it takes is one. And when you continue to gather and garner and show the respect and the love for the players in your home state, you're going to end up getting one of the big time kids. Or you get a kid that maybe not as ranked as high, right? Maybe not ranked as high on the recruiting services. And then he ends up becoming a star. And then he ends up becoming a gem. And when you got 6'5", 335 to play with, that's huge. That's major. And this is a big kid, Antonio Ross Jr. He was the first one, but he wasn't the last one. They had 2 that popped in one night. So you had Antonio Ross that came, and then like 5 minutes later, it literally felt like 5 minutes later, you had another young man from the state of Mississippi decide he is going to play on the offensive, or I think defensive line at Jackson State for the future. And this is Mr. Burke. I don't want to mess his name up, but I think it's Sison Burke, Ridgeland High School, right there in Mississippi. 6'3", 270, probably play along the defensive tackle, defensive end, somewhere on the D line. If not, they'll bulk him up and play like center or guard somewhere on the O line. But he's got O line, D line. He played both at the high school level. This is, and I think with the transfer portal, because it works so well for a lot of teams, your nucleus, your core, your base still have to recruit high school players. Like, you still, now granted the transfer portal, a lot of them leave after 1 year, maybe 2 years, if they're not seeing the playing time that they wish and they hope and desire. But you still want a good nucleus of high school players. You still want a good nucleus of players who have 4 years of eligibility on your roster. It's still good. And once again, to continue to build those relationships and to let those high school coaches know, let those 7-on-7 coaches know, let those trainers know that you care about the players in your state, that you, being a state institution, a school in the state of Mississippi, you care about the players there in Mississippi. And there's a ton of good players in the state of Mississippi. Like Mississippi is one of the more underrated states when it comes to football talent. The South is full of talent. Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Florida, Georgia, Texas, all full, South Carolina, all full of talent, all full of talent. And Jackson State can continue to tap in to the talent that ends up in the state of Mississippi, both via the transfer portal, top ranked talent that goes elsewhere and decide they want to transfer back to home, be close to home, maybe for the last year or two of eligibility. The JUCO services, right? Because all the top JUCOs are right there in Mississippi, Holmes, East Mississippi, etc. And then, of course, the high school talent. You can continue to get those guys, build those relationships, and you're seeing all three phases of recruiting taking place with Coach Taylor, Coach O, Coach Bradley, and the rest of those guys there at JSU. You've seen them infiltrate the JUCO talent there at JSU. Philip Short came from Holmes, and others have come from JUCO. You've seen the guys who went elsewhere, like a Joe Perkins, like a bunch of other guys. I can't even think of all their names that decide to come back to. I mean, a lot of them right there from Jackson decide to come back and play at JSU for their last year or two or whatever after being elsewhere for multiple years. And now you're continuing to see them build upon the high school talent there in Jackson or in the state of Mississippi with guys like Isaiah Spencer, Mr. Burke. You've got Antonio Ross Jr., etc., etc. This is beautiful to see, and this continues to let you know that Jackson State is building upon a strategy that worked for coaches in the past, that helped develop someone like a TC Taylor, because he's from Mississippi. He's from Mississippi. He became an all-time great at JSU, and he wants to keep that thing continuing there at Jackson State. And all this is going to do, like I said, is even if some of these kids aren't ranked the highest, one, you develop in them, they can overachieve that ranking. And two, you continue to build those relationships with the people there in Mississippi. You're going to end up landing one of those top players in the state of Mississippi. You're going to end up landing a guy who doesn't want to go to Ole Miss, who doesn't want to go to Mississippi State, and instead wants to play for you there at JSU. And they've seen how you've been able to treat, help, and develop the players there in the state, there in those cities, there in that state of Mississippi. They're going to end up choosing you as well. This is a beautiful technique. I want to see how it continues to play off, but this is awesome by Coach TC Taylor. It's something that I think will play well. Obviously, you're going to use the portal. Obviously, you're going to use the JUCO system, but you have to have high school players too. You have to have high school players too, and you have to continue to show your state, the same cities that show support each and every Saturday there at your games. And it helps that they have very talented kids in that state. So this is beautiful to see. The building of fence, you see it happening. It's like a force field being built around the state of Mississippi by Coach Taylor and his staff. And I think it's going to work in the long run for JSU. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Jackson State continues to build a fence around the state of Mississippi as they continue to acquire some of the most talented players in that state, both in the class of 23, 24, JUCO, and transfer portal. I think it'll work. I think it'll work really, really well. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Once again, my name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. This is the Victor Formation Sports Show right here on Jeff Lightsy Jr. YouTube, Facebook, and wherever you get your content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button before you get out of here. Like, share, and subscribe. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JLightsy7. That is Instagram and Twitter at JLightsy7. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Peace.